Okay, so 3 important things you should know. Let's go. Number one is you're not special until you prove that you are. I feel like a lot of people nowadays believe that they should be more successful, that they should be put above other people, and that they will be magically. Somehow, someone is going to come save them. No, you're not special until you actually prove that you are. A lot of people that fall into this kind of weakness are the people who did well in school because they did well in primary school, they did well in secondary school, and then they just always assumed that they'd be, the top of their peer group. And then all of a sudden they go into the real world and things are not like that, You start expecting things to, come your way like they did in school, and it just no longer happens like that. That's the way of life, unfortunately. Or fortunately, who the fuck knows? And there's loads of examples of this in successful people, whether it's in sport or, business, whatever it may be. For example, Kobe Bryant, how he used to wake up every morning and spend however many hours in the basketball court practicing his three-pointers. And another example is Elon Musk, the amount of work that he put into his companies, working day in, day out as hard as he could. These are examples of people who rose to the top but did not expect, just the success and the being the top person just to come to them. They put in the work to achieve it. The world doesn't owe you jack shit. It doesn't owe you recognition. You can think that you're talented, you can think that you're smart, you can think that you're destined for greatness, but until you back it up with consistency, hard work, and effort, none of that shit matters. The real hard part is doing the work after the hype and the excitement around it fails, and still being there, putting in the work day in, day out. Number two is comfort is weakness. Now, this is said all the time. We all know at this stage that comfort is weakness, but I'm going to rephrase it into my own kind of thing. And that is that comfort will make you stationary in life. And that's that, when you have a comfy job, when you have a comfy relationship, when you're comfy living situation, there's no desire to change. There's no desire to push forward. And even if these things are not that great, for example, living at home could be comfy. Being in a toxic relationship could be comfy because there's someone there to talk to, and they provide other releases, and they just remove that drive to push forward. Every time you choose the easy path, every time you take the more comfortable route, you weaken your willpower. A strong mentality isn't built in the moments of strength, it's built in the little things every day that happen to you, in the small decisions that you make. Waking up early, avoiding distractions, finishing what you start, doing what you say you're going to do, things like that. The pain that you're running from or avoiding is the same pain that will actually shape you into a more complete person, the person that you actually dreamed of being. Every struggle you go through, every failure is a test of your character to see whether or not you can make it through to the other side. And every time you do make it to the other side, you build yourself up to become a more unbreakable person. Growing isn't about avoiding suffering and, trying to take the route with the least amount of problems. It's about leaning into it and learning how to overcome it. The person who wins is the person who has been in the most uncomfortable situations. For example, the person with the most confidence, who has no problem approaching people, is the person who has failed the most amount of times approaching people. For example, the person who is the most confident, who has no issues approaching people out on the street and making new friends, is the person who has failed the most amount of times in doing so. And I myself am a great example of that particular thing, because I have no issues speaking to people on the street, making new friends, going into big rooms and introducing myself with a big smile on my face. That is no problem to me. But the amount of times that I have approached groups and been rejected, or approached a girl and been rejected, or tried to make new friends and been rejected, it's innumerable. I can think of countless examples. For example, being in a foreign country where I kind of know the language, it was in France, and going into a room in a pub where people are playing cards and being like, hey, is there any chance I can join? I'd love to play a few cards. And they all look at each other and then they're like, no, you can't join. And so I just turned around and went back upstairs. But listen, these are the kind of situations that kind of build you up. Another example of this is the person who wins in the gym is the person who has been in the most uncomfortable situations in the gym. For example, when you're pushing on your last set, it's uncomfortable physically. Instead of a mental uncomfortableness, it's a physical one this time. So the person who has been under the most strain, who has been on their last set the most times, is going to succeed in the gym and gain the most muscle and become the most fit. So it's for this reason that I say, instead of breeding weakness, comfort breeds just being stationary in life. Because it's those moments of pushing yourself out of your comfort zone that drive you forward in life. And number 3 is under pressure, you are your habits. A strong mentality isn't about, being able to do the hard things when it's easy. When you have nothing to do and you're like, okay, may as well do this, it's not a big deal. It's about who you are when everything begins to fall apart. And in high pressure moments, when everything is all over the place, you don't rise to the level of how good you think you are. You fall to the level of the systems and habits you have set in place. So if you're at a good stage right now where, you can afford to build new habits, take some time to, journal and reflect, then do so and analyze the structure of your days, your life. So what do I mean by this? I mean, on a good day, let's say you have something you want to do. Like, for example, me making this YouTube video right now on the 9th of December, right? On a good day, today is a good day for me. I can easily get up and work. I have a interview coming up. Everything's good in my life. My family's healthy. My relationship's good. I'm chilling, right? But if everything was going to shit, if I was arguing with my girlfriend, if my dad was sick, and if I had no job interviews coming up and I was just stuck in life, would I still be able to get up with confidence and energy and make this YouTube video? The chances are that maybe I wouldn't, because maybe I'd still be in bed sleeping to try kind of escape this life that I'm living. But the only thing that might save me was the fact that I got up this morning, I did a few push-ups, washed my face, splashed with cold water, and then wrote in my journal. Even just those 3 things kind of segue me into wanting to work. Because when I write in my journal, I kind of think to myself, okay, you know what, I'm in the situation, I need to make the best of it. It just gives me a broader overview of, life and which direction I want to go, which is why I think it's such a good habit. But this video is not about journaling. So I hope that makes sense. This is not going to turn into a video about, how to build habits. That's a different kind of video that I'm not making today. But I hope that makes sense. Those are my 3 important things. Like the video. Bye-bye.